Good day. What's actually what we call the early hours of the day. I just want to send love. I hope that I'm speaking at a volume that I can be heard because others around me are sleeping. But I feel like this is a message that needs to be spoken right away. So here we are. Today would be the 24th day of the 7th day of the month on the Gregorian calendar. And I did not look up the moon calendar. I know that it is about the second day after the full moon, I do believe. Okay. And I just want to share something very special with you about what has been coming up for me. This is a time of crisis in the world. We have, I'm not going to go down the list of problems that we have, but there's a shift in the air, right? And with crisis is the opportunity for change. Crisis is the best opportunity for change because people, this is human nature, people are willing to look at themselves and make the decisions. In the spiritual world, they're open up to, right? They're open to recognizing that maybe some of their patterns and some of their ways are not in line with what the universe has. Their frequency and their vibration is not in line with what is harmonious for their happiness. So this is the time that we are in. Now, who am I? I am spirit, mind, body, soul, Aboriginal autochthonous woman to the lands known as the United States of America, Morocco, to marry. So I will speak to you from that capacity. What it is in commerce, in trade, in the public, we come by different personas. So I will share that I am one of the people who want justice, want righteousness, want peace and truth to come forth. And they're here at the United States of America, or the United States for America. There is an implied trust. Now, trust is a concept until we put it on paper. There are entities in law, but before we put this on paper, we have to know that there is a concept when it comes to trusts. The concept that someone creates the trust, the concept that there is res or property of the trust, that there are grantors of the trust, there are beneficiaries of the trust, there's trust property, like I said, the res. And so I come speaking of the implied trust that is here at North America. There's an implied trust of people, and I understand this might not have been expressed like this, but there are people at the United States of America, major a trust, that existed, or Aboriginal indigenous to this land. Many of us mislabeled Black, mislabeled African American. And there are indeed expressed trusts that are on the record at the United Nations. Noble Drew Ali, vast estate trust that recognize and honor this. I don't know if honor is a word, but it's recognized that there is an implied trust in that manner. I use my words carefully because I understand that people will sometimes use the words of others and they'll construe it to mean something that it is not. And so I'm careful with what I declare because it is not my goal right now with my words to affect any action on anyone else as it relates to political moves or adversarial moves, ceremonial moves. Okay, we are who we are. We are who we are created to be divinely. I was created to be an autochthonous woman on the lands known as the United States of America. Who are you? Who are you during this time? What are you created to do during this time? So I will go on the record in writing a little bit later today on Scribed. I have a Scribed account, and there it's under my appellation and the government name of Kei'yah Maddox. And I say that to the government is we the people. We the people is where government starts. We have to self-govern. And there are also claims on that name. In the all caps version, there are claims on that name. But I am not my name. I am not my name. I am a living, breathing woman. I am not my name, but I come by way in my capacity as an ambassador for my people, separate from that debtor person. Okay? I come forth as an ambassador for the people, all the people, not only the ones that are autochthonous to the lands here. Okay, because there have been lots of efforts to make us think that we are separate, right? We've been divided by our religions. See, before we were rebound to these different concepts, there is a truth. There is a truth that you have a mother, and your mother has a mother, and your mother has a mother and a father, and we can go back and so on and so on. Blood is thicker than water. So I want to respect everyone for their lineage and for their knowings on the spiritual level. Okay. And I honor you for that. And when I see you and you've chosen different religions, that's good and that's fine. At your core, you have a mission. And so whatever we choose to use as our vehicle to draw closer to what is truth and to the Most High and to love and peace and joy, then I hope that it'll be something that is in line with your heritage, with your bloodline, lineage, and heritage. And the same for the nations. As we have the right and responsibility to choose a nationality. So nations are built on trusts as well. So that's why it's important for me to talk about the implied trusts that are there. Because I think that there is a little bit in our minds, there is a little bit of disconnect between what it takes for us to move forward harmoniously, and there's a little bit of disconnect between that and what people are expressing. And I come in love, and so we have to express the matter in order to correct it. All right. But first, I just want to say that I come here knowing that we are able to grow. This is part of the human nature. We are able to evolve, and we have the responsibility to take care of ourselves and to develop patterns and habits that are in line with happiness and safety and love and peace. Many of us exist in fictitious ideas, and so it's time to challenge those ideas so that we can grow. We have a decision to make. Are we going to move forward in love? Are we going to move forward in joy and peace? Or are we going to self-destruct? I choose love, joy, and peace, and part of that is truth. So I honor love, joy, love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice, and there is joy. And when I say love, I mean what is logical for life, not talking about some fleeting lustful emotion or some type of self-gratifying feeling that comes over us, right? I'm talking about what is order, what is good, okay? Because what is good is something that is sustainable, all right? How we treat each other, how we think about things, how we plan. It's something that is sustainable. And there are times when we make decisions to do things knowing that it is transitional, and that is okay to transition. That is good order to transition from things that are not sustainable into something that it is sustainable and that will carry us until we come up with another plan, having faith that people do evolve, grow, and change. And I speak with a little bit of reference to the current economic state and plans. All right. I encourage everyone to come out of fear mode. I'm going to give you a little bit of a plan for that. So the most important thing is safety. That's what I'm here to talk about: safety, happiness, all these principles, and my role and responsibility to help bringing this in. So, I'm speaking to you in truth based on natural law, okay? And common law is to be reflective of natural law. And the first most important thing is that we self-govern. And then as we self-govern, we can interact with each other righteously and move forward. And I find that some of us have taken oaths, and we're part of denominations where it prohibits us from, in that setting, from fully self-governing. So it's important that we take our time in the quiet times, our quiet spaces, and breathe and ask the Most High, or whatever entity you submit to. Some of you submit to lower level entities, to help us have a clear and correct understanding about what life is. Okay? Spirit, body, and soul. Here on this plane, yes, the soul. Let me start again. The spirit can exist without the body, but the soul cannot, because the soul is an outpouring in spirit of the interplay between the body and the spirit. The soul, our emotions, our aura. That is how I conceptualize it. That is how it makes sense. And I've not heard anyone really speak on it in a way that makes me challenge this thought. All right? So the spirit lives, but the soul, does it live? It's not the same. Spirit and the soul is not the same. So here I am, spirit, mind, body, soul. And I'm asking you to consider for yourself what I have already considered for myself is what is necessary for us to move into an age of peace, a golden age. All right. I think that we deserve that. I think that the people at North America, all complexions, humans, deserve that. And so first we must recognize certain truths when it comes to this geopolitical time and concept that we're in. This is a landmass, a continent. And here at America, in North America, there are many good things about it, right? So for instance, and I'm going to speak in terms of statutory nations. Yes, statutory nations. See, our standing and our status are two different things. I have a standing as a woman, and then I have a status in commerce that I choose to take on or not. Or some things are imposed upon me, but I have the right to speak in line with it or to rebut it. So I'm here for peace and order. So it's important that I share these fine-tuned concepts because although this is understood by some, it's not broadly understood and it's necessary. Okay. So our standing as a people is a little bit different than our commercial status. Okay. So the status that I know has been put upon me has to do with the certificate of live birth. And so if I refer to that, a status as a New Jerseyan, these are, corporate entities, but what's important is that we know that our assets are tied to them. So I do not agree to stand as a surety for any of the debts that's associated with that status of having an entity in commerce known to be a New Jerseyan. That's where the birth certificate of live birth was created. However, before that, there's evidence of my existence in this plane that is written in the form of a live born record. Okay, so that's on the land. All right. So when it comes to these things, we want to think correctly to know that I am not a thing of your thing. I am a woman who is divine. And you, whoever I'm speaking to, whoever sees this, you are divinely created. And you have a special purpose to this time. Your purpose goes beyond, what someone tells you you are supposed to do. It comes to who you were created divinely to be and what you were created divinely to manifest. Okay. So it's come to me that part of what I'm created divinely to manifest is sharing concepts that help us shift our thinking, shift how we use our words, understanding of words, and shift society to help us understand better our responsibilities of interacting with each other in a civilized manner. As where I stay, near the corporate Prince George's County, we've deviated from what is true in a lot of ways, okay? And I say we because myself as well, I'm finding my way back to who I am. I know I am home as it relates to this continent, right? And the southern part of the continent is where my roots are, 3/4 of my grandparents. So I honor them. And there shall be no religion or no law that prohibits me from honoring them as long as I don't step on the rights of others or encroach upon the rights of others. So with that said, I just want to announce myself as a woman who is willing to be an ambassador. And I am in the process of learning how to properly make claims in commerce and to correct the individual contracts that I'm under. And when I say it like that, it's because I have physically been subjugated to circumstances and experiences by way of contracts that I don't agree to. So I have to come out of them. That's what makes them real, is the fact that I experienced them. All right. And I also really vibrate high to help bring me through. All right. But that does not mean that it is okay to continue to stay there. So I need to do everything I can do verbally and in writing, starting with the spirit, to overcome this. All right. So in my learning, I've come to accept that we are a global people. There are indigenous people all over the world. And wherever you are, whatever status is there, it's important to recognize the geopolitical standing. So here at the Americas, and this starts in the spiritual. And so I want to be careful to honor everyone's knowing and understanding, right? We are called to walk in truth. And so as it relates to our safety, our housing, we need food, we need shelter. These are things that are part of life. They're part of life. So when we make decisions as leaders, we must make decisions that are in line with making sure that people are provided for. True government protects. True government is a way of protecting others, right? We agree upon different laws, hopefully in line with natural law, that allow order and peace. It's not for us to rule over people. It's for us to provide protection for people. And then also the way it is at America, there is the United States, whereas the United States is oversight for providing regulations and guidelines for the way the states, the people facilitate the management of the estates. But I just want to call this this implied trust and recognize that we as a people have a responsibility to learn how to self-govern and to come together and put our will in writing in a peaceful manner. The times that we're in, there's so many more ways to interact than to resort to speculations, resort to violence, to resort to assumptions about how other people think and what they say and what they're going to do and what's going to happen. Okay. We have to learn how to measure what we say based on what we've learned from others' experiences. So one main goal that I have here today is to announce that I know who I am as a woman. I am not my name. And to say to you, you are not your name. Who are you and what are you called to do? And I invite you to re-explore some of the concepts here that I hear, things that, we are our labels. We are not our labels. We are not our names. We are people who come by way of names. Many of us, we are in commerce and we use the individual, and the individual is associated with the social security number, and that's fine. But we have to understand that we use this vehicle in commerce. In fact, this vehicle, the individual, has rights in commerce all over. So for some, it's better to use entities, other entities such as the LLC or the unincorporated association or the corporation to move. Okay. So this is what's true, is that we do interact in this fictitious set of concepts around us. We interact within that. And I want to encourage all of you to, in your quiet space, just say, what am I supposed to manifest in this time? And I know part of what I'm supposed to do is share this with you. Okay? We people are the value. We people are the value. All right. So, as an ambassador for the people, recognizing this implied trust, I will put some things on the record today, accepting that the best way everyone understands, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but many understand the Article 3 court. Now, at the beginning of the establishment, the early treaties, there were conflicts that were in play that we don't many times talk about. There were conflicts that had to do with religion, to do with the Constantinian Christian religion, and then also the Muslim religion. But what many people don't stop to realize is that before that, there is something that rebinds you here that is genetic, that is spiritual, that has to do with our ancestors, that is not codified. All right? So, recognizing that, I will say that there was a religious discord that was taking place. No one wants to be subjugated to anyone else's religion. All right? So, with that said, I honor what peace is and the different words that represent peace. One of the words that represents peace, shalom. And then one of the words that represents peace is Islam. And so I say that in a manner above and beyond whatever concepts we might have of religious institutions. And I say that even the word Christ has to do with a title. All right. So it's important that we understand these things. And I know that many who understand this, they speak of it in allegories. And so it misses the masses. So the masses, now we have the responsibility to understand this so that we can apply it and we can walk rightly. All right. And with that said, I'm going to move forward in my capacity as an ambassador for this implied trust. All right. And I will write down my will with a claim, a certificated UCC, Uniform Commercial Code claim, because we are in international times and we must settle our transgressions amongst each other peacefully. Failure to do such is an indication of where we are individually, spiritually, right? Because the atmosphere right now is calling for love. The atmosphere right now is calling for peace. The atmosphere right now is calling for leaders who can say this publicly and commit to moving forward and allowing other people to grow and move forward. No more sacrificial rituals. These things encroach upon the rights of others. How can we ever get honor when we don't give honor? Okay. So I speak in generality on this. I will come back for another post and I will speak more specifically as it relates to the different steps that I'm taking to correct the status commercially, because many of us have been stepping in dishonor, even though it might not be intentional. I want to give some guidance and some encouragement. For those of you who have jobs, you work in various institutions that provide for the protection and the safety of the people. When you know that you're standing and your correct thought will carry you through until we establish more systems of where those who stand on what is right is rewarded. If you work a particular job, you should have read the handbook independently of your training. Read the handbook. Read the handbook. And know that standing in righteousness, you will not be alone. Okay? And there are going to be ways provided, measures and avenues provided so that you'll have the support to stand, because we are beautiful, loving people, and the world is depending on us here at North America. So what I want to do now is just read for you this Article 3. This is the part of the empire. This is the empire. This is one of the lounges of the people at this empire. Just like we have the Empire State. Yes. This empire is known as Morocco for many. Okay. The United States of America is the heartland of this empire. And it's important to have, I'll say, proper relations with different intercourse with different nations. So we as a people here, through natural persons, nationals are, they're natural persons of different nations, right? So, and this is around the world. So there are different agreements, there are treaties. We're responsible to know these treaties. And so it's with that in mind that I speak about the Article 3 Court, and I speak the Article 3 Court, the United States for America, the United States of America, a creditor, a debtor. Speaking from the creditor side, and my responsibility to help give light to what's happening. I speak as an ambassador for one of the societies at America. So a Republican form of government where the people speak and the people stand. And I think it's important to align our societies to the corporate states that are in play, because as those of us who are in contract through our debtor persons, we can accept the gift that has been given to us by those who are adept in law, which are the gold-backed bonds, to help us to move forward in commerce peacefully and rightfully. So I do accept that that was put on the record on my behalf until I fully awaken. Now, I am awake, I'm alive. There are some things on the record that have not been placed there properly on my part for various reasons, some of them beyond me. But I accept that gift and labor of love that was put on the record, which is gold-backed bond of, I won't get into that. But I will say that $100 million is an amount for the birth certificate bond that is in line with how the economy works. Okay. I don't stand as surety for any of my debts, or I don't allow for my trust, my living trust, to be held as collateral for someone else's debt. Okay. So I'm going to acknowledge now the Constitution for the United States of America, 1442. And thank you to Light Tajiri Bay, who has shared these documents. And I speak to you in truth. And so I tend to shift away from the things that are not substantiated in history. And I speak with that in mind. And I honor those who speak in the tradition of the secret societies and using allegories to speak. Okay. I honor you. I honor you. But we have to move forward in truth, because those who are not as adept, they are confused by that. And so they're not going to be able to self-govern if they don't know the truth. Okay. They're not going to be able to self-govern if they don't know the truth. And self-governing is an important part of us moving forward. And I say that whether you're in a society, a secret society, or not. Okay. I will read this and then I will come back and I will move forward with other court actions. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity. This is a sovereign, living, ancient. Article 3. Moorish American Amaracan court action. I am a living justice known as Kei'yah Louise Maddox Eel, in capitis diminutio, in red ink, in propria persona sui juris, in propria solo, in propria heredes. My free chosen name or appellation is Kei'yah Louise Love My Aunt Eel in this setting. In capitis diminutio nolo, red ink, in proprio persona sui juris, that's at my own right, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes, as an heir here to the land. I, and all the original indigenous peoples here, and the word Moors is used to, when I use it, it's used to refer to that as well. And I'm not putting any label or term on people who don't accept that. And that's fine. I recognize you as original and indigenous and autochthonous to the land. And I will many times use words to bring people together, not separate us. So I know what Moor means. We are moored to the land. All right. We are the original indigenous, sovereign, ancient, and all-Moroccan American ascendants. Me, of my great ancestors, and of Kemet, and of all the ancient, all our full faith and trust, our allegiance and credit and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, and we are the people who are original, indigenous, natural, divine, ancient, empire, of Morocco and the de jure government that is of the people. We are one. We are one version of what is good. We are learning what that good is. We hereby exercise all sovereign rights, and at this time and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc. I've not posted it yet, but until I do post it, I invite you to go to Light Tajiri Bey's channel and to see the Constitution for the United States of America. And it is that I use to move forward as an ambassador to affect my will, my expressed will, that we move forward in peace, and to recognize even the recent Chevron case that acknowledges we have a responsibility to what is true, which is reflected in natural law that is superior to the codes and the statutes that many are operating at the corporate states. Okay. I will repeat this in another action shortly and in writing. There must be a cease and desist on the evictions associated with the foreclosures at the United States. Hear me, I'm going to say it again. There must be a cease and desist as it relates to the evictions that are carried out by the sheriffs at the United States Corporation upon the people who are in their homes, in their land, whatever state or status that they're in, stateless or not, a moratorium on the evictions that are associated with the foreclosures. And in commerce, those who are financially depending on these evictions, you do have remedies. Many of you have title insurance. Many of you are able to take actions. And this moratorium, I'm not giving it a date. As a people, we must come together and figure out what is correct, because the law, as far as natural law, will is what it is, and it does stand. There must be a moratorium on the evictions at the United States. And what happens is these evictions are effected by way of the district court. They come from the circuit court over to the district court, depending on if your state is a non-judicial or judicial foreclosure state. I don't know. I'm not here to correct the whole system today. I am here to bring forth love and right order. And I think a major step to that is to have a cease and desist on the evictions. The foreclosure process, as it relates to the mortgages, are a separate thing. And I make sure that I am careful with my words so that I don't speak anything that causes an unintended consequence. No unintended consequences. I'm not making any decree or declaration on the foreclosures, other than acknowledgement of the lack of transparency with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not wanting to shift the market in a way that is harmful to the people, okay? But what is harmful to the people is sheriffs who have not exhibited the ability to train their deputies on what is lawful and an unlawful eviction. And I say this to acknowledge the fact that the sheriffs need support. You need support to learn the right thing to do. Okay. And so until this is demonstrated that it is understood, then the impact on people's lives must be minimized. And to do that, we must stop and come up with a plan. And this must be jurisdiction by jurisdiction on the county level. Jurisdiction by jurisdiction on the county level to create processes where the people can correct the contracts that they are in. Well, the people are not in contracts, their entities are, and they're standing as surety for that. And so there is a peaceful resolution to it. It really is, but it starts with our ability to self-govern, to let our ego go. And I will teach on this in the near future. And in the meantime, no more evictions. Many of these are ending in situations where those who are affecting them are unknowingly putting themselves in a situation or where they could be indicted for treason. Treason is coming against the government. And the government is the people, the republic. And those principles must be honored, because wherever there is a constitution that is not based in natural law, then they will be addressed, okay? But minimally, right now, it's the constitutions before the bankrupt state that the estates and states had moved into, and honoring those who are working to bring it back into order, bring everything back into order. But this is what needs to happen. A moratorium on the evictions and creating contracts. What we must do is create contracts or agreements. I prefer the word agreement. Written, formal, that honors the systems that are here and moves into eliminating the dysfunction as it exists. And so I want to be honorable and present these things in bite-sized chunks, because I know many of us have an attention span that will not, if I have a long post and explain every detail of what I'm sharing with you, the so few people will see it. I know that this will be seen. I trust that it will be seen. And I honor you. I speak in love. I speak in truth. And I will speak freely and with more information in the days to come. I accept my role as an ambassador here. I use the vehicle of the Article 3 Moroccan court to affect my will through trust. All right. And so later on, you can look forward to my writ to reinstate my mother, who was displaced, into her home until we all have a better understanding of what needs to happen. On my end, yes, there needs to be a trust on the record. But before I even put a trust on the record, I will put forth a bond and accept my responsibility and accept the substance that is available to me through gold and silver bonds. All right? Let's be love. Let's be joy. Peace.